guys? It is your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be doing the match preview for Barcelona versus Paris Saint Germain in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. In the second leg, we are 1 game away from the Champions League semi-final. We are 3 games away from a Champions League final, and we are 4 games away from possibly winning the Champions League. This is a huge moment, not only for the season, but also the entire future of the club as well. Huge moment where Barcelona, of course, do have the advantage after winning the first leg last week. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. And of course, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Kickoff time for this match will be taking place at 9 p.m. local time, so regular kickoff time in the Champions League. And this match will be taking place at the beautiful Lluís Companys Stadium in Montjuic, which hopefully will be a fortress for this game. It is expected to be sold out. I think it will be sold out. Of course, let's hope the fans really turn up there pre-game, during the game, post-match, and make it hell for PSG, and more specifically, Dembele as well. And the referee for this match has also been confirmed. On the left-hand side, it will be the referee on the pitch, Istvan Kovac, and on the right-hand side is the VAR referee, which is Marco Fritz. Let's now take a look at our opponents in Paris Saint Germain. I'm going to go through this section very quickly because, of course, I talked about it last week. And since last week, PSG have not played a game whatsoever, so we're going to fly through this mainly and get into the nitty-gritty part of PSG's game analysis. Firstly, of course, the last match in all competition, the last time we actually faced them was last week on Tuesday. Very happy read for me. 3-2 victory for Barcelona. I wouldn't say we battered them, I wouldn't say we cooked them, but we definitely dominated the game. We played it to our game plan, and our game plan worked. We were down 2-1, brought it back to 2-2. Raphinha masterclass. Of course, the lineup is on the right-hand side of the screen. There will be no Sergio Roberto, which does mean there will be at least one change to this lineup, but again, this will be probably the main lineup. We'll talk about this later on, but this is the team that done it. This is the team that got that big massive win away in Paris. Now again, since the game, PSG have not played whatsoever. They've gotten the weekend off. They're now, of course, going to be fully focused on the game tomorrow on Tuesday. But something that I do want to note as well, they do play Lyon in Ligue 1 this weekend as well. That's going to be a big game for them. Of course, they pretty much already wrapped up the league, so to speak. But in terms of the rivalry, derby, team, structure, and the magnitude of the game, it will be a big game for them. Again, we've talked about their previous 3 games. Their 1-0 win against Rennes. Then, of course, their 1-1 draw at home. And then the 3-2 loss to Barcelona, where they played the right-hand side, the lineup for you on the screen. Which, again, a few tactical changes from Luis Enrique. Brought in Asensio as the false 9, which ended up not working out. Marquinhos at right back dropped the stinker. Donnarumma, probably you could argue, cost all 3 goals. But I would say mainly 1, which was, of course, the first one for Raphinha. I think the other 2 kind of, started with him, but it kind of came down to Barcelona's magical, individual brilliance to create the goal as well. I think Nuno Mendes had to highlight his performance alongside Raphinha. I think they both had very good games. I think Dembele, despite his rating, had a stinker. Same with Kang In Lee, didn't play too well. Same with Fabian Ruiz. Of course, Mbappe dropped an absolute stinker. But again, it is somewhat of a similar team that we could expect tomorrow. Now, I do have for you my lineup prediction for Paris Saint Germain tomorrow. I think it will be Donnarumma in goal, a back 4 of Hakimi, Marquinhos, Lucas Hernandez, and Nuno Mendes. Midfield 3 of Vitinha, Zaire Emery, and Fabian Ruiz. And our front 3 of Ousmane Dembélé, Kylian Mbappe, and Barcola. Now, of course, if you're looking at the previous game, there are a few changes to this PSG side. Firstly, the suspended Hakimi does return at right back. Huge addition for PSG, and I think he will bring in Barcola as the winger, having Mbappe as the forward. Now, he could stick with Marcus Asensio, he could bring in Kolo Muani, could bring in Gonzalo Ramos. According to these French media, apparently Gonzalo Ramos could be starting with Mbappe on the left, Dembele on the right. But I still think that this is their best front 3. I was speaking to one of the PSG fans who I had on the channel yesterday, PSG Unt, and he was saying that their best front 3, their most consistent front 3 has been Dembele, Mbappe, and Barcola. With Barcola returning from injury now, I feel like Luis Enrique will start him, will not, mess around the bush whatsoever and play his strongest side possible. This team is still gettable, in my opinion, but the addition of Hakimi, a pure fullback. Of course, in the last game, they had Marquinhos there. They even had Lucas Hernandez there for the second half as well. Luis Enrique switched them during game because Marquinhos wasn't doing too well. The addition of a natural, right back is going to be a big addition for PSG. So overall, final thoughts on them. Look, I think the reality is they're a very, very strong side. They're very well managed by Luis Enrique, who is a top coach. A coach that I would take out Barcelona to replace Xavi 100%. But again, it's the history of PSG that we're really relying upon for this game for them to capitulate. Again, we have that advantage from the first leg, which will be a big plus for us. In terms of players to look out for this game, honestly, there's not a PSG player that I do fear. I do think, of course, Dembele on his day can do a job, Kylian Mbappe as well, but I want to highlight their fullbacks for this game. Nuno Mendes, Hakimi. I think they'll be the big assets for them. I think if PSG can walk away with a win from their perspective, of course, them two have to have a stellar performance. If they do, they'll make it very troublesome for Barcelona. Of course, Raphinha has been ungrateful for them this entire season. Fabian Ruiz, I would say he's a bit, puts in the shift, so to speak. I think Lucas Hernandez as well. He can play well. Marquinhos at center back in his natural position, I think will put in a good performance as well. Donnarumma in the Champions League, been a bit shaky during his PSG career, but again, definitely can be got at. This team, definitely vulnerable. The only way for them to win this game, like I said in the stream yesterday, they have to score in that opening 20 minutes. At any point then they score a goal, they're well back in it. So for Barcelona, defend for your lives. First 20 minutes, try and hit them on the counter attack, try and get a goal in that first 20 minutes, get the Montjuic riving and rallying, get the songs going in the stadium as well, make sure the PSG heads are down as well. Although their away form this season as a whole is pretty good, you want to make sure to make it as difficult as possible for them. Do I see can PSG win this game? Yes. Do I see them qualifying though? I think it will be a bit difficult. Now, coming into this game, of course, Barcelona will be missing two very key players in the midfield in captain Sergi Roberto and Andreas Christensen. Both players are suspended for this game after picking up a yellow card in the first leg in Paris last week. And there are also 5 players who are 1 yellow card away from suspension. If they get a yellow card in this match, they will be suspended for the first game in the semi-final of the Champions League, which will be away from home. Araujo, Frankie de Jong, Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, and Joao Felix are the 5 players to watch out for. However, following this match, if Barcelona do progress, yellow card accumulation will be wiped out completely. That way, the only way you can be suspended from the Champions League in the semi-final, second leg, and the final is via a red card, straight red or second yellow. So if we just survive this game, progress, we don't have to worry about yellow card accumulation whatsoever. The fact that Araujo personally did not get a yellow card in Paris, I don't expect him to get a yellow card in this game unless pull someone down from a counter attack, so to speak. I think the front 3 should be okay avoiding yellow cards. Again, the main worry is going to be Araujo and Frankie de Jong. Let's hope they don't get booked. Again, they do get booked, they will be suspended for that first leg, and of course no Roberto and no Christensen in this match due to suspension. Let's now get into the press conference reaction of Pedri. As we all know, in cup competitions, a player always becomes a manager during the press conference, and today Pedri was selected. So let's get and see what he had to say this morning in the presser. Starts off by saying that the team is very eager and excited to face a team as important as the one that we have tomorrow. I'm coming from not a good moment personally, but I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. On himself, Pedri came out saying that I'm lucky that when I have entered the field, I don't think about injuries I've had. I'm at the best I can be. The desire and enthusiasm make up for everything else. On his future, of course, amidst contract discussions, that I'm very calm, and I know that Barcelona is going to maintain what they have talked about with me already. So interesting stuff there. On the clash against PSG, it may be the most important, very much like the semi-final I had in the Euros in 2021. I believe that was against Italy. I've been thinking about hosting these nights at Barcelona for a long time. On the team's reaction, Pedri said that something has had to influence Xavi's announcement. We have a very long streak and we have improved in keeping clean sheets and being forceful at the back. This is what makes the difference. Despite not being with the team for a long time like Frankie or Andreas, the team has maintained itself. We are a very complete squad, and the most important thing is to be united, especially when injuries hit. On the favoritism between the two sides going into this game, and it's true that everyone likes to talk about who the favorite is. I think we are two very even teams. It's going to be a nice game for the spectator. We'll try to do our best to win the game. On Gundogan, Gundogan's a spectacular player. Since I've met him in pre-season, I've already seen him. It's a pleasure to play with him and learn a lot with him in training. He has a spectacular numbers throughout the season. On the team's mentality, yes, it's important mentally that they scored a goal against us. We spent 10 to 15 minutes doubting ourselves. We are young, and it's something that we have to improve over time. In Paris, we turn it around, and we have a lot of credit for what we did there. Again, on the mentality, it's something that I haven't needed a psychologist, so to speak, personally with himself. With the trainers, we have done a spectacular job. On the sensations, we face it with great enthusiasm and desire. We want to give the joy to the fans. I would like to tell them that we will be with us and we will go out there to do our best. On him playing 90 minutes, that I feel strong. I always want to play these games until it gives me. I will give everything on the field. Afterwards, I'll ask for a change if necessary. On Kubarsi, Pedri said that I love him. A center back who filters so many balls is a joy for the team. At 17 years old, I've not seen a center back with those characteristics. In duels, it is difficult to see him lose one. He is a great person, and I laugh a lot with him as well. On playing without Christensen and Roberto, since Andres and Roberto help us a lot, I'm going to come out with intensity to win all the duels in midfield. Let's hope the losses are not noticeable in the midfield. Then asked about the asked on the Gavi and Balde injuries, and Pedri came out saying that in long injuries like Balde and Gavi, it is complicated. It hurts my soul because I know what they're feeling. Of course, this is for him and for the injured players. On the danger of Mbappe, Pedri said that you have to have the ball and make sure they don't give you chances, not just Kylian, but also Ousmane Dembele and Barcola. You have to try and make up for the advantages, and especially when they have the 1v1 situation. On the 6-1 against PSG, of course, the remontada in 2017, so it's a game that stays in your mind. I couldn't believe how it happened. They are games that stay in your mind, and I hope that we can give another joy to the Culés tomorrow. And finally, Pedri concluded off by saying on how he expected the match that will end up being. So it's going to be an intense game. There's going to be put pressure on both sides. Each one is going to be fighting for possession. Both teams want it, and it's going to be difficult to replace it with another team that plays well against you. Whoever has the ball will win the game, and that pretty much sums it up to absolute perfection. And that concluded Pedri's press conference reaction at the match against Paris Saint Germain tomorrow. Time now to get into the press conference reaction of the manager, Xavi Hernandez, who of course followed up Pedri's press conference this morning. He asked a lot of questions, of course, on the game, player injuries, players missing, the future, his future, as well as, of course, per usual. So let's get and see what Xavi had to say this morning in the presser. He said that for us, it's going to be a very big opportunity as a club. We play at home at the Montjuic, and it has to look like it's a big night at the Camp Nou. PSG will not go out to speculate and will match our system man for man. We have to show a lot of personality to move on. It'll be a brave PSG, and we have an advantage playing at home. It'll be a difficult match. We are excited in a good sense of a word. Then he's asked on Pedri and Gundogan being able to play in the same midfield, and I like them both. I imagine them giving the last pass. It's a great quality to have. They give us pause and tempo to more difficult game for the midfielders. We will be in front of one of the most intense games in the world. Yes, Gundogan and Pedri has space and time. We will have a lot to gain. Then asked on the loss of Roberto and Christensen, saying that the loss of Roberto and Christensen are very sensitive. The sanctions hurt us. The key for tomorrow is to be a team. We have to give our all and our lives to go to the semifinal. If we're a team, and we will have the numbers to get to the semifinal. And then he's asked on managing Pedri's minute. He said that for all those who are called up when the squad list can play 90 minutes with Pedri, we'll talk about his fatigue. Pedri has to be a very important player for us tomorrow. On Laporta support, now there has been some clips and videos coming out about Laporta joining the training session, going and hugging Xavi and shaking Xavi's hand, and also his coaching staff. People made a big deal about this. Xavi came out saying that he told me that he wanted to play in the Rondo, which again I think he's just trying to be a bit funny. There's enthusiasm again, and you see it in the people, but also in the president. Today he wanted to be with the team to give us support and confidence. Happy to see him excited. We recovered the enthusiasm that has been missing during the season. On the sensations, he said that look, I'm fine, I'm motivated for tomorrow. I'll be very proud to be able to qualify for the semi-final. Barcelona fans too. It's very big opportunities. Victories give us relief, but defeats don't let us breathe. I'm with Ancelotti. I'm euphoric and excited to be where we are. And then he's asked on Hakimi and other key players being back for PSG, like Barcola from the start. He said that Lewis and PSG have so many options that you don't know what variant they can use. Of course, especially in the attack, you have to understand that they must have a very clear structure. Tomorrow we will repeat with some variant. This is about footballers, and our footballers were at a brilliant level. Then on the dangers with respect to PSG, saying that PSG or Luis Enrique's team have always been on the attack, even more so tomorrow. They are losing on the scoreboard. If they have not speculated throughout the season, tomorrow even less so. Then he was asked on the return of Dembele, saying, look, I greeted him before the game. Of course, last week, people show what they want. That's why they are the public. The Montjuic better absolutely kill him. On the emotional aspect, that's very important. It's in head-to-head playoffs. Feelings are very different. You have to control ourselves a lot, and we have to show that the team's best side and personality. The emotional aspect is key in this tie. On the stadium environment, and tomorrow we need the Montjuic to be a Coliseum. It's very important for the club, and I'm sure the fans will help us. On his future, you worry too much about me, frustrated about being asked this every day. It's an important thing that the club is going to the semi-final, not that I advance anywhere myself. Again, this is getting so boring. It's been like 3 months of this at this point. Then as on Dembele leaving the club, so that what happened with Dembele made me feel very bad, because he was an extraordinary moment here. I don't hold a grudge against him, and tomorrow I will greet him with all respect. I have a lot of affection for him. Bloody hell, okay. On Luis Enrique and Pep, of course, the Barcelona DNA in the Champions League. Perhaps with Luis there are other coaches who marked me the most, with Pep and Luis Enrique. When I think about what we have to do, I have to remember a lot about them. They marked me, and that's the reality of the situation. He was then asked on Raphinha's form. He said, look, think about the team in the group. Everyone is thinking about the collectiveness. We're in a moment that comes from Raphinha has a lot of conditions and talent. He can be the difference, and he was, of course, in the first leg. On the clash of the Barcelona style, he said, I don't think it's a coincidence. The Barcelona, school generates many coaches. With the type of coaches come out in this DNA philosophy of, the Can Barca. It is the merit of Barcelona and the DNA. Then asked on Lamine Yamal and Pau Cubarsí, said there are two people who are talkative and always want to be better. I don't have to explain, much to them. It's a Champions League night, and it's a very big opportunity, and we don't need any extra motivation. He was then asked about the old presidents in Europe for Barcelona. He said that it would be one more reason to make it more mystical. Going to the semi-final would be a resounding source. Seeing the coulisses like this again is already successful, but the goal is to go to the semi-final, and it would be very exciting. On PSG, said, look, you have to see you are not only a team that speculates. We want to win and get through to the tie. You have to do things very well. I envision a match very similar to the first leg. It will be a very important war. They don't speculate, and neither will us. To me, to the players, and even to the press, I've had more of a feeling of relevance, and it has turned out to be phenomenal. So again, Xavi making it sure that very clear there's gonna be a lot of pressure on this game, and again, it's gonna be an absolute war on the pitch. And that concluded Xavi's press conference reaction ahead of the match against Paris Saint Germain tomorrow. Let's now get into lineup prediction. We're going to start with the manager, of course, Xavi Hernandez. I'm going to try my best to predict his lineup. I think it actually will be very, very easy to predict. I think barring one change, we do have a pretty concrete idea of what the lineup will be tomorrow. And I think that Xavi will go with this lineup on the screen right now. I think he'll go with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Koundé, Araujo, Cubarsí, and João Cancelo. Midfield three of Frenkie de Jong, Gundogan, and Pedri. And a front three of Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Raphinha. The one question mark is Pedri. In the midfield, it could be Pedri or it could be Fermin Lopez. Again, Pedri, you could say not fully fit. I think Xavi's gonna risk him. Look, the league is pretty much over. You have to win the Clasico to have any sort of chance. We're actually in a fight in the Champions League. You could even argue that maybe Pedri off the bench with the entire PSG could be more effective. But I have a funny feeling that Xavi will start Pedri for this game. Apart from that, there ain't gonna be other changes. That back five, front three, rock hard, solid, confirmed. I think that midfield three is where changes could come in terms of actual position as well. You could see maybe Gundogan play the pivot. I think the only real question mark about this lineup is Pedri or Fermin. I don't think anyone else has a Scooby-Doo chance whatsoever. I think this will be actually the 11 lineups that Xavi will select for this match. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think Xavi will go with. Now I'm going to show you guys my lineup, what I would do if I was a Barcelona coach, and I have made no changes from Xavi's lineup. I picked the exact same squad. Again, you could bring up the question mark, of course, of João Felix as a potential starter, but if it ain't broken, don't try to fix it. I think this is our best team, of course, going forward. Again, I'm a bit suspect of Raphinha on the left wing, but on his past few appearances in the left wing in the Champions League against Napoli and PSG, he's played very, very well. So I don't want to take him out of there whatsoever. Personally, for me, I would play De Jong in the pivot. I think Gundogan going forward is just way better than De Jong going forward. And I think De Jong can do the pivot role a bit better than Gundogan. I would personally go with Pedri. Again, the Clasico for me is second priority. We have a big opportunity here to try and progress to the Champions League. If we were a bit closer in the league table title race, maybe I'd drop in Fermin. I also think Fermin didn't do particularly great against Cadiz as well to really push to try and start this game. So I would stick with that. I think, again, this midfield three isn't quite very balanced as well, but that's more so the suspension of Roberto and Christensen. Big losses for Barcelona. Again, back five, front three, very concrete. I think you could maybe argue for Joao Felix or Fermin Lopez, but I think in the end, I personally would go for Pedri and, of course, Raphinha / Lamine Yamal. So I picked the exact same lineup as Xavi. So let me know in the comments down below if you agree with my lineup and Xavi's lineup, or if you disagree. Time now for my score prediction. What do I believe the result will be in this match? I think this will be a stalemate. I think it's going to be a 1-1, maybe a 0-0 draw. For me, all I need is that Barcelona do not concede. I would even say the first hour. If we reach the hour point of this game and we have not conceded a goal, I would be super confident. I would mainly say in that opening half an hour. We don't concede that if we go into halftime with a clean sheet, I think that's pretty much qualification guaranteed. If we can score a goal as well, a floodgate could be open. For me, Barcelona, how you win this game is based on that concentration, mentality, and defense in that first half an hour. Keep it strong. Keep it tight. Do not concede. If we concede in the first 5 minutes, we are toasted. I can see PSG win this game 3-0 if we concede in that opening, I would say 5-10 minutes. We have to keep it strong at the back. I wouldn't sit back. I don't think Barcelona will sit back fully and, soak up all the pressure. Maybe that will be in the last 10 minutes, but not during the duration of the 90 minutes. Hopefully Xavi has a strong game plan. The players are up for the challenge. Again, we're at home. I don't see Barcelona getting eliminated. I think we could have a draw in this game. I think maybe even PSG could win. We go into extra time. I think extra time and penalties is not completely ruled out, but very difficult. But I do see Barcelona progressing in this game. I don't think we will be eliminated from the Champions League, but I have gone with a 1-1 draw, sitting my arse right up in the middle of the fence. But of course, in the comments down below, let me know what you think the score line will be. So that was a match preview for Barcelona versus Paris Saint Germain in the quarterfinal second leg in the Champions League. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course leave me your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. But the main thing I want to firstly, of course, is your score prediction, and secondly on the lineup. Do you agree with my lineup and Xavi's lineup? Would you disagree? Would you make any changes? Do you think Xavi will make any changes to his lineup as well? Leave me all your thoughts down in the comments below, and of course make sure you guys subscribe down below as well if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the live watch along. Set the reminder on the screen and come and join me, watch the game with me. Fall short of the match by my match review. I will see you guys tomorrow. I am nervous as of right now. We're not even 24 hours for the game yet and I am breaking it. Please, I just want qualification, man. However we get it, however by any means, penalties, extra time, regular game, we go down 3-0, make a comeback 5-3. I just want qualification. I'm confident in the boys to get it done, but if they don't, we're going to have an explosion, not only from the fan base, not only from the media, but even from the players as well. It's going to be absolute chaos, but I hope and pray we do qualify for the next round. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, and Forza Barca. Go,